Now I'm going to be putting on the roofing. So I don't know if that's clear in the shot. This is what I chose. Okay, and they're double layered. I don't know why they make them like that. See, that's just peeled onto this piece. But there's, even if you don't line up slots, it doesn't matter. But normally there's a tab. There's supposed to be a tab on these, and I guess you don't put them anymore. Normally they put a tab at 6.5 inches, so you could always overlap by 6.5 inches and you didn't even have to think about it. And on the here there would be a slot that you could actually hook your felt on, and you'd always get it in the right spot. But I think they tried to dummy proof it or something with this design. I don't know why, but so you start off, you overhang this by 1 inch, or you put your first strip down on the side, right? And you want it to overhang 1 inch, and you flip it in reverse. Okay. I'm just going to put on my apron, get my chalk line, and you need roofing nails and a knife. So I'm going to get me some roofing nails. As far as nails go, right, what I have here is, I think they're 1 inch. Some people buy 1 1/4 inches because they don't want to smack their fingers, right? Because it's you're so close to the head of the nail. If you miss, you crush your fingers. And like these are 1 1/4. I've seen 1 inch nails like this, and you do not want to use those. 1 1/4 or even 1.5 inches. But by right, if your nail goes through the roof sheathing, okay, that's steel, and you're always going to get drip condensation at the end of the nail sticking out underneath, especially in an attic, in a home or something like that. But I mean, nobody puts on 1 inch sheathing on the roof and then uses 1 1/4. But the ideal would be the nail doesn't pop out of the other side of the lumber. But you can't do that when you're using 1/2 inch material, right? This is aluminium. It's wire. Okay, it's just a wire made out of aluminium, and this is probably for siding, but I'm going to use them for roofing as well. But normally a roofing nail is steel and it's wire, and then what happens is they crush the head of it, and that's why you get dimples at the top here. That's where they grabbed onto the wire, and they coat it in galvanized. Okay, but this happens to be aluminium, and they use this for siding, vinyl siding. Okay. This is 14, so they used to be 13 1/4, something like that, or 13 1/2. And this sheet is 13 3/4, while this one is, well, I guess it's 13 3/4. So to get my inch of overhang, and the reason why you want overhang, you don't want to rot out your facial board. And some people put a drip edge. You put it's a piece of aluminium, that goes down like this and has a little curve to help support that 1 inch at the end, but it's not, it does a better job, but it's not necessary. So I'll mark this at 13 3/4 up here, do the same over here. Okay. 15 3/4. And now for a chalk line. Great invention, the chalk line. Great invention. Simple, effective, keeps everything straight. So I'm going to follow that. The thing is, if you have irregularities in your roofing, like if one's 13 1/4, one's like from one end to another they're off, you're going to see that in your ridge here. So you sort of have to try to line it up at the same time, right? It depends what kind of quality assurance you have at the other end of the manufacturing process. But give them a tar sheet and it's a no-brainer. It's waterproof, but it doesn't always look good, like in appearance-wise. Okay, now this first piece always has a tendency to get caught in the wind. Now this is the same for a house or like, I'm used to building houses, right? So you try to nail it as close as possible to the edge, right? To prevent this from getting caught up in the wind and flipping over. And like on the house, you want to leave yourself some wiggle room a little bit, because you got to put on, you might be capping this off with aluminium trim, so you have to get underneath anyways. And some people just nail it on the face, but we normally nail it on the top and the bottom so you don't see a nail. And you can put 4 nails or 1 on each end and double in the middle, which was normally required on the other type of roofing. Now I didn't look on the pack to see what kind of nailing specifications they want you to on this stuff, but it's not a big roof. See, I'm going to line this up here. It's off a bit from one end to the other of the roofing. Like, I don't know if this is run through a shear. If this is cut on the fly and not stamped, the cutter's on a diagonal. So at the rate of feed rate, it ends up straight when at the end. But if it's off a bit on the speed, it doesn't come out right. And you put one on this side as well. And you want to go like 4 or 5 5 inches off the side. Give it just a little bit, not too much. And I'm at an inch and 16. It's not too fussy, but it's got to be at least eye worthy, if not measuring tape. Because it's your eyes that catches the boo-boos, right? And now you gotta make, after your first strip, you gotta make starter strips. And then you can use the other piece to finish off at the other end. See, so I gotta take off 6.5 on it. Square. I'm not sure if they have, like I'm using a utility knife here, but I don't know if there's a specific knife they use for roofing. Because it's hard on blades. It's like cutting sandpaper, right? So if you look here, I'm going to be overlapping 6 inches when I bring in the next one, right? So that's how you want to do it. Now some people might put ice and water shield for the first rows, since it's the trim and that's where the condensation and the heat builds up in the attic. So you don't want to see you don't want to see frost lines in your roofing in the wintertime, right? Because you know there's condensation in the attic, which means rot. And or you can, and then you go with paper. There's a specific paper you can put on there. And same deal. You nail it every 13. Now if this was a house, I'd probably want to be putting 2 nails in the middle where I put one here. But some people who use roofing guns, right? If you don't have a color of roofing that's rust, you can expect to see rust streaks in that roofing on a period of time before you replace it. But if you use aluminum, it don't rust. It's even better than a galvanized nail, right? It doesn't rust. Pressboard is hard to get your nail going, so you got to be careful not to get it, like hit it unevenly. So I've completed the roof. These are ridge caps, okay, and since this type of roofing is double layered, they sell a separate pack which is only one roofing thick for these. But if you heat these with a hot iron or with a heat gun, you can get them to bend to what you want them to, right? But those aren't the caps that this manufacturer actually recommends, but it still works. That's the door. And there's the door. I'm going to build a ramp tomorrow. Put the hinges on and the little lock mechanism. So I pre-cut my pieces. This is going to be my well, they're not fillets, but they're going to be binding straps to bind base to the arms, and the same up there, like to bind the top of that to the base and make sure everything stays together. And I also cut some 1x1, and that's what I'm going to use to help me fasten the netting or the chicken wire to the frame. Okay, and if you look underneath here, like I had nailed some back in there so I could actually do the same over there. Okay, so I'm just going to rough cut my chicken wire, and then I'm going to go under there and actually fasten it to the frame. So this is very tricky. This thing wants to wind up. It's hard to get the piece in here. Here. Now, I think I'm good there. Oh, I didn't think this through, did I? I still have to put those straps on there. I think I'm going to put the straps first. Leave the screen on there and put the straps. Still it wants to wind up a little. So I finished this corner of putting down the wire, and I haven't screwed this one in yet because there's still a piece going on top here so the birds don't fly out of the top, right? And you do what you can, right? That's not gonna bother anybody. It's just the way it went down. See, I put a piece across the bottom, flush, right? and it's going around, and that's how the straps go on, right? And there you get an idea of the top. Sorry about the light there. And you fasten it to the living quarters. And then I'm going to have to go down there. But I'm going to finish the side I'm actually standing on. Here I got nothing down yet, so I'll bring it back when that one's done. So this is completed. Only have to stain it now. Door's completed. Everything's been installed. Take a walk around. That screen's been installed. It's ready for paint or stain. So this is the completed product. I'm going to see later on within an hour or two if it needs a second coat or not. You can't tell right away, right? Because it's still absorbing into the wood. Sometimes it leaves, you could have sworn you went over everything, but it leaves little spots, white spots, which is actually the lumber. And it's like air prohibiting the paint from sinking into the wood. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this build, and I hope you're on board for the next one. So please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps. Okay, see you next time.